Hello everybody, it's me Albatross, welcome back. I'm here to react to this documentary that was made a couple years back about missing children and specifically, the things that become of the missing children. Just have to give a disclaimer, viewer discretion advised, trigger warning, may contain graphic and disturbing details relating to the crimes against children and humanity. Please do not attempt to contact anybody that you see on the screen, anybody that comes up in this video. This is just all commentary and opinion. This isn't journalism. This isn't facts. This isn't none of that. This is just someone's commentary and opinion. Okay. Yeah, because, listen, there's a lot going on. I'm not really, able to talk about the things going on, in the world, because YouTube has really, been cracking down hard on me, and I don't think I'm quite big enough for the CIA to care about me, but I'm starting to get a little suspicious that maybe them too, possibly because of the petition I have about them. Of course, it's probably just in my imagination, right? I don't know. But anyways, so, I'm not allowed to talk about any of that kind of thing. They've been really cracking down on things like that, and I just know I don't believe anything that they say. I don't believe the reasons they're giving us, and I'm just going to leave it at that for now. And let's try to just focus on the missing children and the things that happened to them, because that's really what, at the end of the day, that they want to distract us from. That's really it, in my opinion. I mean, there's really no other story that's more important. So, let's get this started.
There are hundreds of children in Arizona who are missing right now from state custody. But who is out there looking for them?
Over 1 million children vanish each year.
The FBI has found dozens of missing children in Los Angeles. It's all part of what's being called Operation Lost Angels.
83,000 each month.
Just look at that.
They found nearly 978 children went missing in 2019.
A lot more than that.
2,700 a day.
72 missing children across Indiana, Iowa, Ohio, and Georgia in the past several weeks.
115.
They just literally take them off the streets. And I know in a lot of these shots you didn't see it, but in many shots you'll see people walking by and doing absolutely nothing. And it's not like they don't see it or hear it. You'll see them looking and stopping, but then they'll just keep walking after they witness it. It's unnerving. It has to be some kind of spell. I mean, it just has to be some kind of spell put over humanity. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, how can a human witness something like that and not have a natural instinct to protect innocence? I don't understand.
Per hour.
In the meantime, the Arizona Department of Child Safety says tonight they can't locate 44 children who are supposed to be in their custody.
One every 30 seconds.
Think about that for a minute. Once every 30 seconds, a child is abducted, is snatched, goes missing, never to be seen again sometimes. Now, fortunately, not every time. Fortunately, sometimes people are lucky and find the children. Like on my X feed, for example, some of the missing children I've been posting have been found. You know what I mean? No, I'm sure not because I necessarily posted it. I'm just saying that, yeah, some of them do get found. Sometimes it does turn out to be a misunderstanding. Thank God. That is fortunate for those people. But there is a lot of times that is not the case. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times it's not the case. And listen, with the amount of children that's missing right now, the migrant children, let's forget about the children of the United States for a minute, just for a moment. And just think about just the migrant children that came over our border and just vanished. That is the population the size of the city of Miami. They didn't just get swallowed by the earth. They didn't just vanish. They didn't just vanish into thin air. You know what I mean? So, something a lot more sinister is happening to these kids. Let's just watch.
In
this operation were trafficked, some sexually and or physically abused.
This child trafficking thing
Is real.
Is real.
It's
It has always existed.
I'll link it in the description too.
Well, my name is Nancy Schaefer, and I'm from the state of Georgia
A hero.
in the United States. And thank you for your gracious invitation. I will share with you on the unlimited power of Child Protective Services.
Spoiler alert, this woman lost her life for talking about CPS. She lost her life. I know they say that her husband, murdered her, then killed himself, because that makes total sense. You know what I mean? That just makes total sense. Why they would do that. But that's what they want us to believe. I don't believe it. I believe this is why she lost her life. Because they were scared to death. They didn't want it to, people to question it. They didn't want people to not trust CPS. They need a steady supply of children at all times. That's why, in my opinion, and this is just purely speculation, I think, since they shut down the border in the United States, that this war was just like another way to get another steady supply of children. Because think about it, they were getting their children through the border, via the border, relatively painlessly and easily. They were just getting children. They were just pouring in here. And then that stopped. That spigot got cut off. So now the best way to create a constant flow of children, displaced children, is war. I mean, something to think about. Something to think about.
I served in the Georgia State Senate. And after 4 years of viewing the ruthless and unsparing actions of Child Protective Services, I wrote a scathing report entitled "The Corrupt Business of Child Protective Services."
I can't remember if we've read that yet on this channel or not, but that is something we're definitely going to have to come back and read, for sure.
The report cost me my Senate seat. This is not to say that there are not those children in wretched situations who need to be removed.
Yeah, there are.
There are, and we all agree.
If you have history in your past, you know of a story of an abusive child who was saved by CPS, you can't then assume that CPS saves everybody. Who is mainly involved in CPS? Hospitals and doctors. Why? Because people trust hospitals and doctors. They shouldn't.
Yes, exactly. And if you look more closely into Dr. Fauci's history, when he was coming up with like the HIV treatments, like long before the COVID era, he was actually experimenting this medication on foster children. Children who literally did not have parents to consent and advocate for these children. Okay? These are the kind of people we're talking about. And if they literally see something about your kid that they need or want, they will not hesitate. Now, 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100, they won't. But if they do, it could happen to you. You know what I mean? That this stuff actually happens.
But they do. And in the same hospital where babies are being born, the same hospital babies are being kidnapped.
That's another thing. Another reason why you should really consider women who are giving birth and stuff, they should actually consider trying to get a midwife of some kind and giving birth at home. And the reason I say that, it's unfortunate because hospital might be a safer place to give birth, on paper. But did you know that hospitals actually own your baby until they release your baby? Did you know that? They can literally put any kind of medicine, do any kind of medical treatment that they deem necessary to your baby. And yeah, they may have to tell you about it, but they don't need your consent. They can just do it. Okay? I've seen people go through this. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. The hospital owns your baby. They literally own your baby. They have an alarm tag on that baby. You cannot walk out the hospital with your baby, even though you can give birth at home and stuff. If you choose to give birth to the hospital, that's how it is. And I'm not saying that's like, they're going to hurt every baby that's not what I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. There's good people that work in the hospital. I'm just saying the fact that they can is disturbing, because just because maybe your hospital operates in good faith doesn't mean the hospital in the next town does. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's a problem. It's a big problem. Huge problem.
In the same place where people are being cured of cancer, the same place people are being killed with remdesivir and ventilators. And people can't separate that because they see it all as one. Something's either all good or it's all bad.
But tonight,
ain't that the truth? Something's either all good or all bad. When usually it's always like a very nuanced picture, like in most situations. Like even with CPS, for example, I mean, like Nancy Schaefer said, there are like, situations where kids need to be rescued. But that is not the purpose, in my opinion, that CPS was developed. You see, CPS, in case you all didn't know, is actually a relatively new organization. Like, the government didn't have a problem, like, rescuing kids from bad situations before CPS came around. CPS was established in 1962. That is a relatively newish organization, and it's a questionable time for it to be officially developed right in the middle of all the MK Ultra stuff going on in our government and all this other stuff. I'm not saying it's connected. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's coincidental timing. That's all. That's all. And anyways, let's keep watching.
I'm talking about those children removed from their homes intentionally for profit.
What is child trafficking? Child trafficking is when you kidnap a child for profit. In other words, if you take a child from its family and give it to somebody else for money, that's the definition of child trafficking.
There is nothing more painful than watching that. Did you see them taking that baby out of that mom's arms? What the hell? And I don't even know the situation. You know what? Maybe she was burning cigarettes on the baby. I don't know. But oh my God, does it have to be like that? I don't like it. It makes my skin crawl. It doesn't set well. It doesn't feel like it's coming from a good place when you're just literally what if the baby got hurt? The baby's getting traumatized. Excuse me, I'm just saying, in those situations, I feel like it would benefit everybody to calm down, take a deep breath, and maybe, do it on a better note for the child's sake. Oh my God, that's horrible! Anyways, that's horrible.
But what you need to recognize is that defines what the states are doing with the federal government.
There was no order.
There doesn't have to be an order. My baby is fine.
The mommy can go without doctor's order, but not the baby.
The states are
That's what I'm talking about. That was a hospital. They were talking about a baby. That is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And that was the mother after she's giving birth. And they usually do that too. They'll release the mother a day or two before the baby. And then it's they give you a hard time if you want to stay there with your baby. They don't let you sleep. They don't. And listen, I'm sure this is in every situation. I'm talking about people I've known and talked to. It's they don't you know what I mean? They don't let you get a place to sleep. They don't let you, you know what I mean? It's it's really shady. The hospitals are really shady when it comes to the babies. They really do. And they don't give the parents any rights whatsoever. You know what I mean? They might have the respect in telling them, but hopefully the parent agrees. Because if the parent don't, it's usually pretty much tough luck. And by the way, I know if you want to watch this without me interrupting it, I'll link it in the description so you can. This is a very good documentary.
Taking children, giving them to somebody else for money that they get from the federal government. That means that all 50 states are involved in government-subsidized child trafficking. It's a ring. It is the largest and most pervasive child trafficking ring in the history of the world by sheer money and numbers.
Children are seized unnecessarily from their families due to the federal aid
God.
the Adoption and Safe Families Act.
That was a cop. Just snatched that baby basket right from her hand. Like, what is going on?
It was put into law in 1997 by Bill and Hillary Clinton, and I said it that way on purpose. And it is a law that literally steals money from the Social Security Fund and gives this money to the states in order to incentivize them to kidnap babies.
To receive the adoption incentives or bonuses, local CPS must have more children. They must have more merchandise to sell.
Every child.
Exactly. It's the more heads, the more children they either adopt out or put in placements or this or that or the other, put in NGO organization homes and like all this other crazy stuff, the more money everybody makes. That is the problem. And we cannot be naive here. We cannot be naive here when there is that much money involved in things like that. It attracts a lot of vultures. And just think about something. If you think that the fraud in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, one city in the United States, with all that, if you think that was bad, this is the most lucrative business in the whole world. Now, add government funding on top of it. Forget about it. This is such a huge business. It's sickening. It's sickening, but it's real, and people need to wake up.
Once you've added it all up, is worth approximately $1 million to the state. But we've been told that this is a $60 to $80 billion a year industry, meaning the federal government is taking $80 billion a year and giving that money to all of the 50 states to kidnap children.
Parents are victimized by the system that makes a profit for holding children longer and bonuses for not returning children to their parents.
But their own statistics state that 83% of all children who are taken by CPS, Child Protective Services, are for unsubstantiated allegations, meaning never should it have.
That is a ridiculous number. 83%. You see, what does that tell y'all? I don't know, but it tells me that it was never about the best interest of these children, that there is a reason other than what they're saying. There's a reason other than what they're saying, because if they're not victims of maltreatment or neglect, there's another reason they're taking that child. It's because of the incentives, could be the money, could be that child specifically. But this is a huge problem, and it's real for so many people go through this. And then a lot of times, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's not a good percentage of them ever get their children back. It's sad.
Happened in the first place. So that imagine anything else in the world where you know you get it wrong 83% of the time and you admit it, but you just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Case workers and social workers are often guilty of fraud. They withhold and destroy evidence.
It doesn't make any logical sense as you study this all across the country, and it specifically doesn't make any sense in the case of my grandson, baby Cyrus.
Our journey began in May when Diego Rodriguez reached out to me to expose to the world what Child Protective Services was doing to his grandson, Cyrus. At the time of this interview, the parents of baby Cyrus were gagged by Judge Lori Fortier under threat of imprisonment. And after starting to dig in, we had no idea how dark and how deep the rabbit hole would go.
What is this about, sir?
So this all started when my son Cyrus was having prolonged vomiting episodes. We had taken him to many different specialists to get checked out. Nobody could seem to find out what the problem was. We had just brought Cyrus back the following week from the hospital, from the ER. He had been discharged and everything. He was doing great. And then that week we had follow-up appointments with our specialists, nurse practitioners and such.
That morning, I woke up with a sore throat, and I was going to try to go to that weight check anyways. And my husband was like, you know what, just just cancel. It's fine.
And so she called in and she asked them if we could cancel the appointment, and she was just going to reschedule for that following Monday. They didn't answer the phone, so she just left them a voicemail. And apparently, 20 minutes after that, they had called CPS and reported us just for that.
And I woke up from my...
Look, this happens every day, right? You know what I mean? What's the big deal? You reschedule for the next week. Well, CPS is running short on children. Or if there's a specific somebody who needs a specific child, well, it don't matter. They will literally look for reasons. Like, they will literally call you mentally ill and things like that just to take your child. I mean, I don't know if that's the case with these people. I'm just saying, like, they'll use whatever reason they can. And in this case, it looks like they used her canceling and trying to reschedule a doctor's appointment.
Nap, and there was a text message from a social worker. My dad told my husband that the law enforcement had showed up at his home looking for my son and looking for us.
In the evening, my wife was feeling much better. We went and we had dinner with our friend that had already previously been scheduled.
That moment we pulled out, my sister spotted an officer, and she said, oh, look, there's a cop right there. I think he's following us. And when I looked forward, there was a second officer that turned in front of us. And immediately when that happened, I knew, okay, so this is not going to be good.
The police officer said, hey, I just have a bolo out on your truck, and I need to detain you until Meridian Police come.
We got a call from Meridian Police Department detectives, okay, and for whatever reason, they're looking for your truck.
And then it was just more and more and more, and pretty soon there was probably 10 to 15 police cars around, 20 different officers or so, right? The detectives came up and they told us, hey, we have a CPS referral for you guys. It looks like you guys missed your appointment this morning.
Levi, do me a favor, step out of the car.
Like, what the hell? Literally, for a doctor's appointment.
No, I want you to step out of the car. Okay, is that my right to speak? Not right now, son. Get out of the damn car. Get out of the car. I'm not gonna screw around with you, okay?
Listen to the way he's talking to him. And you got, like, a whole army of cops around him. Like, it's not even as if that he's posing a threat. Like, you got him. You got, like, an army there. What is going on here?
Get out of the car. Right now. Get back, now. Or you're gonna go to jail.
Heck?
Detain for what? We're not gonna screw with you. You understand? We're not to.
What time did I commit?
For a light. Oh, look, he's snatching her phone. He's snatching her phone.
No, felony injury to child. Get out of the car.
Hey, you can't abuse me. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. Let me get out.
For what reason?
Makes my skin crawl. I'm telling you what, makes my skin crawl. You know what I mean? So what happens when you're part of these lodges, when you're part of these cults? It's like a mind virus, and I'm willing to bet. How much you want to bet that these cops probably didn't even really know if like what was going on? I mean, like, they didn't have to know what was going on. Their masters wanted this baby. They're going to get this baby. You know what I mean? That is the world we live in.
For a family injury to a child, okay?
What?
And I knew what was going to happen at this point, but I didn't want to accept it.
The officers come around to my side. They open the truck door, and at this moment, when this is all happening, I remembered what I prayed, and immediately I knew, I had no doubt in my mind they were going to take him, that no matter what happened, they were going to take him.
Give me the baby, okay?
I can't. Can you please help me right now? You understand? I'm a desperate mom right now.
We know.
I really need your help right now.
Talk to her. We'll give you that opportunity, okay? But we're going to take him to the hospital. And if you want to go, you can
Can
come
I ride
along.
with him?
Yes, you can.
The mom's not there to drive us out.
What?
Then take her away from you and get in.
She can go right away. Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Well, no, we don't want her to know what hospital we're going to.
No.
The fear that I had at that.
You hear that? They don't want her knowing what hospital they are going to. Like, this is what's happening to normal people. And you know what? Honestly, let's pretend like everything that they're telling us is a lie, which I don't think it is, but let's pretend it is. no one deserves this. Like, in the middle of a gas station, you're going to traumatize a little baby like that. Not like, come on. Come on. For missing there just are no words. There are just no words. Like, this is like what's happening. You know what I mean? This is what CPS has become. This is what it always was. This is what it always was. Because like I said, before 1962, they took children away from violent, horrible situations. Of course they did. You know what I mean? CPS has never been about that. It's never been about that. They're about keeping a constant, steady flow of children. And you see, and this is my problem. And it's like, that's why I don't believe that people like the Trump administration are actually working to do anything about the deep state. Because they're so worried about like the foreign aspect of it. Like, when this is clearly going on to real Americans. Like, take care of your own house before you give a crap about the rest of the world. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to say that, but like, if your own house ain't in order, you don't have no... Anyways. But yeah, these are the people. These are the type of people running this show.
That moment was like absolutely paralyzing. I don't think there are many things I wouldn't have done to keep him. And so he says, come into the ambulance with the baby. We just want to check on him. We won't separate you. You can go to the hospital with him. You can ride in the ambulance and you won't be separated. I promise you. You can trust me.
That was one cop that was saying that. If you all didn't catch that. It sounded like it was like one particular cop, maybe two of them saying that to her. But then, as you already saw, there's a lot more than two cops there. There's a lot of cops there. And I guess the guy who was in charge said, no, we can't let them know where the hospital we're going to. No, she can't ride an ambulance now. And you know what? It kind of reminds me of what happened to, like, Allie Carter. You know what I mean? When her and her mom got pulled over. It was like there was, like, a cop or two there, like, really nice, who didn't seem to understand why the other cops were being so daggone abusive. But, like, they were just helpless and couldn't really do anything about it. But they tried to be good people, despite the circumstances they were in. It's because, yeah, you know, not every single cop is bad. But, like, unfortunately, the ones in charge usually are. You know what? The ones running the show. The deep state isn't going to let a good cop be in charge. You know what I mean?
The officer told me that I could go with him in the ambulance into the hospital.
Yeah, and I don't know what was said before then. I was not a part of that conversation.
You can't take him. You can't. Guys, I can't. You understand what happens when the state takes custody of babies? I've seen this so many times. I can't be that next person.
It has been reported over and over that 6 times as many children die in foster care than in the general public.
Yep.
Once a child is legally kidnapped and placed in official safety, the child is far more likely to suffer abuse, including sexual molestation and or rape.
So you have one option at this point. You need to give him to the EMT, and you can go on your merry way with your friends and your family who's out there.
Did you hear him? You are literally about to take... This is how... Okay, this is just evil. This is how you know he's not simply just following orders. He's, like, delighting in this. He is literally delighting in taking a baby who looks like they're under the age of 1, taking a baby from his mom, and you are delighting in it with a whole family and friend. Like, that's not even an option to you. You are literally like, what the heck? Like, someone at the top ordered this. Like people, this is not normal behavior. This is not normal behavior. This is evil.
Or I remove him from you and you go to jail. You need to make that decision. You need to make it now, please.
I won't let him go.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Okay, please let him go so he does not get hurt, okay? Come here, little buddy.
Oh my God.
I promise I will take this. I let him go. I let him go.
She's going to jail. Okay.
I let him go.
They lied to her. She literally let that baby go, and they're going to arrest her anyway. They're going to arrest her anyway because they got what they want. Look at those cops. Look at them. In what world do we live in? Like, this is the world we live in, guys. This is where we live in. And listen, don't think that this couldn't happen to you. Okay, don't think this could happen to you, okay? You know what I mean? And look, she actually is, like, groomed. Her hair's brushed and stuff. Imagine you're having a rough day. You're in the store. Someone looks at you. They don't like you. They get some assumptions about you. And they call police on you. And then this this could literally happen to anybody. This could happen to anybody.
Put your hands on your back. Okay.
They arrest her anyway.
And he had his hands over the EMT shoulder, like reaching out for me. They closed the ambulance door. That was the last thing I saw.
Why not? No, go in the car. Cyrus. In the car. It's all right. It's okay.
Cyrus.
It's okay. In the car.
No, let me say bye.
You're gonna make it worse. You're gonna make it worse. Say goodbye.
These are crimes against humanity for financial gain. Rights are removed from parents. Human rights, civil rights, and even religious rights.
But this is a level and order of magnitude in terms of wickedness right up there with abortion and all other great evils. Man stealing is a capital crime, meaning God says those people who kidnap or who steal other men by force are worthy of death.
These parents, trapped in the system, become like refugees. They're dazed and glazed and have no one of whom to turn. They do not know what to do, and the loss of their children is devastating.
In the middle of us being good parents, desperately trying to take care of him, now the government's just going to step in and say, okay, you're criminals, and we're taking your child from you.
After having worked in this arena for several years, I do not believe that a single child comes out whole after having been in this system. And it is a growing criminal, political.
It is rough stuff, guys. It's rough stuff. I've been trying to say, and many others before me have been trying to say, you know what I mean? They do not care. They just simply do not care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about your family. You're just a number to them. You're as good to them as, you know what I mean? As long as they don't need your kids or nothing, you might be okay. But, like, no one can promise that. Because they, like I said, they need, like, a constant spigot, a constant faucet of children. Constant. It needs to be constant. You know what I mean? And CPS, in my opinion, came in to fill in the gaps. Just because it's never enough. It's never enough. And I don't know, just so disgusted. So disgusted. The people who you saw this all, who said they did. You know what I mean? They turn around and disappoint everybody. You know what? It's disappointing times right now. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on in the background. I just know that we're being lied to. And this is being ignored constantly. The Epstein files, there's a spell on society, just like the people in the grocery store who walk by watching someone rip babies out of arms and kids off the street. People just keep walking by because it's a spell. It's a spell on everybody. You know what I mean? Watch them take your money from your purse. You know what? That's a different story then, right? Right? But someone else's kid? Nah. It's sad. I don't know. It's sad. I'd like to think that, you know what, I would, like, stab someone in the throat. You know what, maybe that's a little dark. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Stab them in the leg. I don't know. No. F that. Stab them right in the throat for taking children off the street. For doing that. And for doing this to families. You know what I mean? The kidnappers, CPS, they're just basically legal kidnappers is what they are. They're legal kidnappers. Anyways, I hope you all have a good day. I'll be back with the rest of this documentary. It's a good documentary. But take care.